Welcome to Joint Effort PAs, where two orthopedic surgery PAs get real about life in medicine. From tips and tricks to professional growth, work-life balance, and everything in between. We're here to share what we've learned and what we're still figuring out. Let's get into it. So today we are going to talk about a week in our lives. Day in the life, week in the life, everything that we do.
And that changes
It does.
day to day, week to week. So, you guys, this cast today, if we did the same topic next week, it'd probably be a completely different
My next
bag.
week will be completely different
Yes.
because I have 0 OR time next week, and it's like 5 days in a row of clinic, which is mentally challenging. So
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. And this week was not a typical week for me. So, we'll certainly go into what typical is, even though typical is atypical. But yeah, so.
Was your week good?
Yes. I say it like that because the front part of the week was a little bit like not usual for me. So we didn't have an OR day because my supervising doc was out of town. And 96% of me like gets that. I'm like, oh, he has a life. It's okay. But 4% of me is like, why did you do this to me?
Yeah.
Why did you took a whole OR day? Like,
abandoned.
why my day? Why not somebody else's day? Like I have to
Yeah.
do clinic.
I
So,
know.
the front part of the week was in. The back part of the week, we killed it. So, yes, I'll answer that now, I guess. Yes, it was a great week.
That is how I'm going to feel all next week.
Yes.
Okay. So, whether it be last week or a previous week, what is just, I know we've gone through this before, your typical split between
Yes.
clinic OR, what you do?
Okay, so again, I work on a sports med team. So my PA job is a member of the sports med team, which consists of the sports med surgeon, myself, and then we have another PA on our team. And I also do a lot of admin stuff outside of that. So my split for the week typically is clinic 3 days a week and OR 2 days a week. And then, fitting in the admin stuff before work, lunch hour, after work, during those hours, in between breaks. So atypical for me was I lost one of those OR days. So then, choice. I can either take the day off and do I don't even know what, or I can see patients. So I saw patients on that day. So it was 4-1 this week for me. Hannah, what about you?
Last week, I had my typical split, 3 clinic days, 2 OR days. I would say that that's a pretty standard week. So clinic days for me are typically Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and going anywhere from 7:45 or 8 until 4 o'clock to 5, just depending. And then we have our 2 OR days, Tuesday and Thursday, so going from 7 to, again, whenever. Sometimes it's 2 or 3, sometimes it's 5 or 6.
So
anywhere in between.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that. So for those listening that are either current PAs or PAs in training, it is loosely a 40-hour week. So my schedule, I have patients scheduled from 8 to 4. But again, that patient that comes in at 4, if that takes an hour, well, then it's 8 to 5. And then if I've got phone calls and notes, well, then it's 8 to 5 plus. And then same thing with surgery. So surgeries are scheduled to end around 3, except when they don't, you can't just essentially leave. So 40 hours, I would say, if everything goes to script. Like these are weeks that are scheduled. Like the 4 o'clock is actually a 15-minute visit and you're actually caught up on your notes, then you're done. And you're like, okay, I guess I'm going to go home now. And then surgery, same thing if you're done at 3. But there's so many things, and we can certainly talk about all the things that play into why the weeks go the way they go.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with myself some of those days.
Yes.
I get done at 3 o'clock. I'm like, what? I think it was 2 weeks ago. I mean, this is a perfect example of like some days go very according to script and you're done on time and it's very surprising. And then some days push the limits of that 40-hour work week or 8-hour work day for sure. Like we had Tuesday, I think we did 10 cases that day and we flipped rooms, meaning so when we flip rooms, we have 2 hours running at the same time. And then while I finish closing, he can go start the next case. And then I basically just like bounce room to room. We were doing that and done with 10 surgeries, including a joint replacement by like 2:30, 3 o'clock. And it was just like the perfect series of events that went into that playing out. And then 2 days later, the exact opposite. We had less surgeries. I think I left the hospital at 7:30 at night, and then I had to be up to round the next morning at 5:45 so I could make it back to clinic for a 7 a.m. procedure before clinic started. And then we had a surgery during lunch, and then the rest of clinic. So between Thursday and Friday, I was like, I don't think I stopped.
Okay, so this is this question. Again, this is coming because I'm staring at your face when you're saying this. That schedule, when it's unpredictable, where you have the 10 case day and you think you're going to be late, and then you have the 4 case day and you actually are late, which excites you more?
Oh, the late days.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're thriving on it. It's like,
yes.
Yeah.
So I had my week this week. My Tuesday is usually an OR day. And again, my surgeon was out. He moved his daughter into school. So obviously, legit reason. Again, this has nothing to do with, what it was not fair to me, but like 4% of me was like, why would you do this on this day? Right. So I was kind of like, yeah, I'm like 1 hour a day. It's the end of the week. I gotta like find something to do. So I saw patients. It was great. I ended up seeing a pretty decent clinic. But next week, like I have Tuesday surgery. I have 4 ACLs. Like I am salivating just thinking about it.
The adrenaline that you run on for those days, I don't know. I always say if I didn't do this, I probably would need to work in the ER or something
Yeah.
because I like the adrenaline from the days in the OR where I'm not eating or drinking any water
Yeah.
and breathing basically like that.
Yeah.
Is great to me. I love it.
Yes. So let's start then, just because we're kind of into it already. Let's start with the OR day. So typical OR day, just for those listening. So we both work in outpatient orthopedic surgery. So generally, when I go to bed Monday night, I know exactly who we're operating on Tuesday. There's not like, the Grey's Anatomy stuff or jumping on stretchers and rolling down the hall, operating on patients that need surgery immediately. This is like a scheduled thing. But the variables that go into what makes that day a smooth day versus not is somewhat out of our control. So Hannah, talk a little bit about, let's say your 10 case day, like what needed to happen for that to go smoothly.
Like everybody just has to be on the same page and everybody has to be in the mood for the day to go that way because it is not only the surgeon and myself, it is like the circulating nurse and the scrub tech and our vendors and everybody in pre-op and PACU. Like everybody has to be on board for that day going that way.
Let's say everything goes well. Let's say it doesn't. Now you're in the operating room. So you're working with the surgeon, as am I, and surgery goes, and at least I'm at the stage, and you likely are too, where when the surgery's done and the incision's still open, deeper layers are closed, the surgeon literally leaves. Okay, and that's not negligent. That's what they do. So their process is they go to talk to the family members, they go tee up the next patient as the PA's in the room, closing, putting on a splint, doing the dressing, doing any needed paperwork, and helping to move the patient. So then theoretically, the doc is already in the next room, and then you join them when they're draping or when you're getting the patient ready. So that's the way that's supposed to go.
That's ideal. That is perfect.
Yeah. So I think, for those looking to go into some type of surgical role, it's more than just you get to close and you get to do the dressing and it's amazing. And it is, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of other things when you work on a team that you are responsible for. And the surgeon's role in all of this is to know that you're handling it. Like, I mean, I don't mean to sound, like they're passing it off, but it's not the surgeon's job to worry about where the vendors are. Is the nerve block in? This is all stuff that they're just assuming that you're handling. And then when it's time to operate, they're ready to go. Like that's how it should work. So an ideal situation is whatever the stuff is, PA's handling it and surgeon is not stressed out. I mean, the weight of what can go wrong and technically doing the surgery, that's their sole concern. So if you enter a PA physician relationship, specifically a surgical one, you have to understand that that's your job. So early on, can you do all that? Absolutely not. But imagine going through all those things and every time something happens, you're like, let me go ask the doc. You're like, hey doc, the block's not in. What do you want to do? Or, hey, there's a hole in tray. What do you want to do? So that, knowing kind of your role and living through it with experience kind of helps that smoothness.
Yeah. And then, I think too, like I am at the point where I recognize those things, but also now recognize there's sometimes there's just nothing anybody can do about it. I have a
Yes.
hard time accepting that though
Yes.
too. So like anesthesia's late, or for some reason they're struggling getting things together to put the block in. Like I can push that, and I can annoyingly ask questions like, why isn't this done yet? Is it almost done? Are we? I can like hang out by the curtains and awkwardly stare at everybody, but like I can't physically
Yeah.
make that go any faster. Sans doing the block myself,
Yeah.
which at times I've been like, maybe I should
Maybe I
learn how to
can.
do
Maybe I
this,
can.
you know?
I'm gonna make a little bit of a left turn, but what is your food of choice? Like, how do you get through the day when you don't know what your day is going to be, and there's 10 cases, and you're flipping, and you literally go hours. You look at the clock and like, it's 2 hours later, and I haven't eaten yet today. Like, what's your go-to? Because, I mean, I'll just start by saying, if I drink too much water, then I have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But if I dehydrate myself by that 6th hour, I'm regretting that life decision.
I mean, I do regret not drinking water typically. Caffeine is my food and drink of choice the entire day. Yeah.
Yes.
And some days, honestly, that is what I live off of the entire day. I'm not condoning it, because by the end of the day, I feel the effects of having drank no water, ate no food, and just had like a bunch of caffeine in my system, and I'm ready to jump out of my skin, but also exhausted. So, not condoning it. Food of choice. I'm a poor planner as of recently, so it's just
You're
peanut
weighing
butter.
it.
Yeah.
Weighing it. So I have to work out on my OR days. So I work out before I go into the OR. That way I know that I've taken all my like heightened energy and put it somewhere useful, so then I can come in and I'm not like psychopath. I mean, that's just honesty, right? I'm a huge planner. So I pack my food and I have choices for the day. So if I want to go quick, I pack a smoothie. Like I can down a smoothie very, very quickly, and I don't have to have people around me watching me eat
I hate
as
that.
food is falling out of my mouth. Because if you have 4 seconds and I have a sandwich, like that thing's going down, but nobody needs to see that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I stand. I don't like to sit when I'm eating,
Correct. Yeah.
especially if it's like quickly. So if I have a bowl and there's things and it requires more than one utensil, I'm saving that. I'm saving that for a predictable day. So smoothie, preferably something I'm not going to use my hands with, because I have like this feeling that people are looking at me like, those are the same hands that just operate on someone. Yeah. So smoothie, I do have like a meal that goes in a bowl that I can warm up, but there's a time and a place for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean,
That is
that's
a lot
after
of
years.
planning.
Listen, that's after years of experience. I do not pre-eat. I like to go fasted into the OR. But again, after about 4 to 6 hours, like it's time.
What is, and then we can go off of the OR tangent, but it's my favorite part of the week, so
It is, yeah.
probably why
That's why
I'm
we started with it.
hyper-focused on it. So, for you, talk about the difference of like a day where you're vibing and you guys are feeding off of each other, the steps are coming together, and you know your mind reading, so to speak, those days versus like the days that the vibe is just off and you feel like you don't know what's happening next. And I mean, you've been doing this long enough that maybe those days are like fewer and farther between for you, but that is like, there's nothing that can prepare you for that. Like some days are just like that, and you're like, wow, we are rolling through this. It's like a waltz.
Yes.
We're not even having to think through the steps or talk. And then some days it's just like, ugh.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 90%, and again, I'm working with a surgeon that I've worked with for the past 10 years, and before that, 8-ish years. So we vibe majority of the time. So 90% of the time, we don't even have to like talk about the surgery. Like I hand him instruments that I know he needs next, and we're just talking about, I don't even know what. We're talking about a movie, we're talking about a show, we're talking about music. I don't know, we're talking about something. So 90% of the time, it's those days. There was a time, and again, a little confessional here, maybe? Okay. Last week, I was a little upset last week. Something happened that got me annoyed, and I couldn't not separate it. So I was annoyed, like body language, the whole thing. And, you know, for PAs or for those that don't know what we do, in the OR, you're standing in their bubble. Like you are less than 6 inches away, you know? I mean, you're standing right next to that person, or sometimes you're across the table. And I was annoyed. I wasn't up for the banter. I wasn't outwardly annoyed. I was just kind of staying quiet because I couldn't stop thinking about it, answering the appropriate questions, but not going above and beyond because I was processing. And honestly, I wanted to talk about it, but I didn't want the whole room to hear about it. So the doc left the room, and the anesthesiologist said to me was, what's wrong with you guys? What happened? Did you guys fight? And I was like, honestly, no. I'm just
Oh my
not
God.
feeling it today. And she was like, the entire room felt that.
They can tell.
They can tell.
They can tell.
Yes. Yes. So on the flip side, when the surgeon I'm working with, or a surgeon I've worked with in the past, when they're not feeling it, you have to read the room.
Right.
If they're not feeling it, it's not the time to bring up a question about something else besides in the moment. It's not the time to try to distract because that can leach out something that you don't want.
Mhm.
Whether it's an insult at someone in the room that didn't even know it was happening, like if someone's on the edge and just needs to be poked a little bit and you are the one poking, it will ruin the entire day. It just will. So we just exist in the silence, knowing there's something there. Do we talk about it? No, we don't.
No.
We just get through it.
Yeah. No.
Professionally.
Yes. But,
It comes out later.
It comes out later, and
Maybe in the next case. And the OR sometimes is the place to talk about that. But
sometimes not because everybody's listening.
sometimes not because everyone's listening.
I love that.
Yes.
Okay. So what about clinic?
Yeah. So to the other part of the week. So again, we started with that and glamorized it. I think we glamorized it.
I feel like it was glamorous.
I felt great about that.
I feel like people from the outside, maybe there's something wrong with us, right? Maybe from the outside, people listening are like, that sounds like the worst day ever.
It's
and
not.
They're just obsessed.
Yes. So the other part of the week is the clinic days. So myself and Hannah being in clinical and surgical roles, the patient population you see are new patients with, in my case, sports med injuries or chronic problems, and their follow-ups and their post-ops and their pre-ops. So you're dealing with a new patient population sometimes, but also these are your recurrent follow-ups and post-ops. So these are patients you have relationships with. Sometimes you're meeting them for the first time if they're a new patient, but it's generally 75-25% continued care.
Yeah.
So we both see relatively high volume. So our day consists of scheduled appointments between the hours of 8 and 4, scheduled lunch break in between most of the time, unless you're pushing everything in the front part of the day. So I would say you see 30 to 35?
My template is built for 32 to 35.
Yeah.
And then depending on like the season of the year, that is either completely filled or we're having a 25 day.
Yeah. Yep. So those patients, again, are scheduled. They know they're seeing the PA. So I like the break between the clinic and the OR because, the patients you're operating on, you then follow their journey, right? So whether you're teeing them up for the surgery or you're taking them to completion to recovery, I like the clinic days. And it's, checking in, saying hi to 35, 40 patients a day, and, just making sure that everything is going according to plan. So Hannah, how much during your day do you collaborate with the surgeon? So again, sometimes, and again, the setting that I'm in and the setting Hannah's in, sometimes the surgeon is there seeing their own patients, and sometimes they're off-site, either operating or seeing patients elsewhere. So let's say a typical day where it's you and the surgeon running your own clinics, how much cross-collaboration is there?
Quite a bit. I mean, we have similar setups in our office. We kind of work in what we call pods, right? And so our entire team is set up. Our medical assistants, clinical assistants, athletic trainers, myself, the surgeon, we're all kind of standing in the same space, working out of the same general vicinity. So there is definitely collaboration because we are talking about most every post-op patient that comes back in. He's showing me new things that he's seeing. I'm bouncing things off of him if I have questions about something. I mean, we're standing right next to each other, so very easy to do. So I would say a lot of collaboration in the clinic days. And then once a week, we have like separate offsite spaces, which I think is similar to what you have, right? Like you have one clinic day a week where it's just you and your staff.
Yeah, we have two days where it's myself and the surgeon. Then one day I'm seeing patients, the surgeon's operating. So we like to call that day walkabout. That's a day where I get to have a break from him and he gets to have a break from me and see what else is out there in the world. It's called walkabout. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I go on walkabout. I learn new things about myself. I
Yeah.
decide if I'm going to miss him for the day or if I don't. And honestly, it depends.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah, I wonder what he's doing. Like, are the
last week, did
cases?
you?
I did because my OR day Tuesday was missed. So
Yeah.
I like scoped out the OR day that he had on Wednesday that was so far better than mine.
Mm.
And I needed all
Mhm.
the details.
Yeah.
I was texting him like, how did it go? What did you do?
Yeah.
Did you fix it?
Why
Did
am
you
I
have to use
not
a
there right
craft?
now?
Why am I not there right now? How can I get this better for me next week? Yeah. So yeah, that's our walkabout day.
Yeah, like, do you wish I was there right now?
Yeah, I mean, I never say that
Regrets.
because I know the answer. No, but my clinic days, I again have collaboration 2 days and then by myself 1 day. So the tasks that we do, again, it's pre-op, post-op, follow-up new patients. We order x-rays, we read the x-rays, we decide if the patient's going to get an injection. We then continue the treatment plan. So there's a lot of autonomy in the ability to see the patient and decide, okay, they came in, they tried 6 weeks of physical therapy, now what, right? So I am not asking the doctor like, hey, the patient came in and they still have pain. Like, what do you want me to do? So we do have protocols, and if not this, then that, but it's not as robotic as that sounds. There is thinking that needs to happen on the spot. So this patient that failed therapy, but it's their non-dominant arm and they're 85, like that is not a surgical patient, at least not, not initially, versus the 54-year-old mechanic who's been dealing with something for 20 years and just to say, hey, I want this fixed. Like, we are able to make those decisions if there's anything that is really complex. And again, you don't know it till it comes in and where that conversation goes. But if it's something really complex, that does require like in the moment collaboration. But
Yeah.
and I can speak for myself, but Hannah probably you too. In PA school, you look at x-rays like, oh, look, there's a shoulder, but there is not the deep dive in what you're supposed to be looking for, what is abnormal, if this, then that, and then take it to MRI and CAT scans. Like, we do that all the time. And we're looking at images that you don't really have a lot of training in. So on the job training to be efficient at those, I think is a stress point, but something we do multiple times every day in this specialty.
Yeah, and this is something too that, like, again, growth over time. This is not going to happen very quickly. It is going to happen organically over a long period of time. When you're starting out, you are going to rely on your MRI reports and ask a ton of questions. Like, I was probably asking ridiculous questions like, "Ooh, should I inject this or not?" And now I'm just like,
do it.
I'll
Yeah.
inject everything. And then the surgical decision making, that is not a thing for a long time typically. I mean, and then eventually you get to the point where you're making those decisions if you're going to schedule somebody for surgery. And the same with imaging reading, like that is, I think, for new PAs coming in, a very difficult thing
That's
to
a
grow
steep curve.
into.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is a
it is. It's
steep learning
hard.
curve.
And I mean, I'm still learning things every single day. It does get better over time. I have gone from a place where like I was having to Google normal x-rays every time I saw a patient in the very beginning and like compare them. What is, is there something off with this, to being able to look at MRI images and question what the radiologist read it as.
Yeah.
And sometimes send it back and they're like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Whoops. Yeah.
That feels good.
Yeah. Sure does. So you're seeing the patients, and again, as you are in clinic or whatever setting you're in, doing that on repeat. And again, if you're in clinic 3 days a week and you're seeing, let's say 30 patients, you're seeing 90 patients a week, you will get the flow of seeing the patient, doing your documentation. So let's talk about charting a little bit. So I think that is the bane of most providers' existence, is doing the visit, thinking through the visit, and saying to yourself, I did that. I got it done. Now I have to actually document it. So you're actually doing it twice. Like, you're living it and then you have to dictate it. At least in our case, document it through dictation, but you're doing that in such a way that it sounds very professional. Someone can pick up the chart and read it and know exactly what you were thinking. So you dictate, yeah? Okay. And we've got a little app on the phone where you can walk around and dictate. So are you let me see a patient, then dictate, then move on? Like, what's your style?
It depends on the day and the mood that I'm in. Some days I am like, we're going to get every single note done right as soon as I see them. And some days I'm like, I'm leaving this for a later problem.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it when I get home or a few days later.
Yeah, and I think the complexity of the patient, like if I had a really tough visit for whatever reason, like the patient didn't handle it well, it took a long time, like I'm not ready to live it again in the dictation. Like I need a minute and I'll do that later that day, maybe the next day. But again, my clinic is broken up in morning and afternoon, and 99% of the time I've got something during my quote lunch hour. So I try to do all of my dictations, half of them at lunchtime, half of them at the end of the day. I try. When I have charts at the end of the day, my scary number is 12. Like I don't want more open notes than 12. They have to be closed.
Yeah.
I don't know why 12. Like 5 is no big deal. 4, I have 4 right now from Thursday. I'll do it tonight probably.
Yeah.
But 12 is like the I don't know.
That's a low threshold number compared to what I will accept.
Are you like a 26er?
I
Sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes it's a Sunday and I'm like, I've got 45, and yeah, it's painful. Yeah. But most weeks that is not the case. I really try to keep it under 20, maybe 20 to 30 is like 30s I don't feel good about.
Yeah.
Under 20 I'm okay with.
So do you have, are you a note taker? Like you have a stack of notes from those patients, or it's in the old brain?
I do keep them, but I have found rather than my memory getting worse with time, although my memory gets worse about some things over time, I feel like my memory of patient encounters improves.
Yeah, that's funny you say that. I have a rock solid memory. Like I can remember something from 6 years ago and what room we were in. Like I'm like, it's all in there. But if I'm not in the moment, like something else really big happened, it's a little bit difficult for me to like tune it back to get ready for that. Now, so the clinic days, the documentation, what other things, like when, for those aspiring to be PAs or those that are going through interview process, there's a lot more than just seeing the patients, charting on the patients, fold up your computer and you go home. My team, again, it's a surgical team. So at the end of the day, when we're done with notes and charts, there's also all the patients that called in, wrote in, have questions, need updated work notes. Can I get a handicap pass? They want to cancel surgery for tomorrow, but I want a phone call. So there's all those things that are managed by the medical assistants, but they will also reach out to the provider because there's some decision making required. Or, the next day, this one forgot to stop this med. What do you want to do? So there's a whole other thing at the end of the day that I think takes probably an hour. At the end of the day to kind of go through.
If we get done at 4,
if you
it's
get
5.
It's 5.
Yeah.
So, looking for jobs, being in a surgical role, like you can't just fold up and go home because there's other things, right? So for us, it's an hour at the end of the day. On the OR days, it's easier. I can check in between cases and kind of like feed those a little bit. We also work with a surgery scheduler who's doing all the Tetris board stuff and trying to move everything around. I do once a week meetings with our surgery scheduler and once a week meetings with our team. And the team is the other PA, the surgeon, and the medical assistants. And we'll talk through operations for the week, what we're trying to do, what we're trying to fill.
Yeah.
Clinic was light this day. Maybe instead of doing the whole day, let's condense and then go to the OR more. Hey, there's more OR cases. We got to find time. So there's a lot of stuff that I think is on the shoulders of the PA, at least in my setup.
Yep.
That you have to do. That's the planning.
Yeah.
So how does that?
Role.
Yeah. So Hannah, how does that work on your team?
Same kind of thing, I would say. I mean, shout out to our clinical staff because they handle a lot of administrative stuff on the back end, which is fantastic. Beth, I love the Tetris board analogy though, because I feel like that is, a big part of what I'm managing on a weekly basis. The OR schedule planning is a huge part. Putting in orders in the hospital, rounding. Neither of us have roles where we are heavily involved in the hospital. Like I'm rounding maybe once a week, sometimes less. So it's not a huge part of it, but I mean, some weeks it takes up bandwidth.
So let's talk about then. So we broke down the OR days, we broke down the clinic days, we broke down the other stuff. There's still other stuff, and I think that's practice dependent for us. But take me through, like, Hannah, your alarm goes off. Like, take me through what you do from the time you wake up till the end of the day.
Okay.
What else is there time for? That also is a question.
That's a better question for you, actually, because you have a lot going on. So for me, I usually wake up around 5:15, depending on if it's a clinic or OR day. Doesn't take me a lot of time to get ready. Not doing a whole lot to myself. So especially OR days, it's great. I can show up wearing whatever I want. Sometimes I leave my house and I'm in like shorts and a t-shirt, and this is my work attire. Because obviously you change once you get there. Going through the motions of the day, and once I'm out, say it's 5 or 6 o'clock, I have to get my workout in. I'm very impressed that you get those done in the morning on your OR days. So Beth, you're waking up at
it's early.
3, 4.
No, it's early.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
early. I'll let you finish and then we'll talk about
goodness
that.
gracious. Yeah, I prefer to get my workouts in the evening. I feel like mentally I can just focus on it more, knowing that everything else is done. I'm not anxious about having to be finished by a certain time. I feel like that stresses me out when I'm working out, to think like, oh gosh, I have to be done by this time to get out. So I save that for the evenings. And yeah, and then I'm going home, eating dinner, may have a glass of wine, finish my charts from the day, and put in orders or whatever for the next day, kind of prep and rinse and repeat.
Yeah, so I am definitely a planner, and again, doing this for quite some time, I've tried a bunch of different things, but well, before I start, typically, what time do you go to bed?
I used to be better about it. 9:30 to 11:30. That's a large.
It's a window.
It's a window.
It's a window.
But yeah, somewhere in that time frame.
Okay.
I'm easily distracted by other things. So it just really depends.
Okay.
Sometimes I am up thinking about what we should talk about on this podcast, and I can't fall asleep.
So I wake up like 4:45 to 5, and I generally the first one up in my house. So I've got 3 kids, and I try to get my stuff done. Like my time is in the morning time, so I don't want anybody else up in my space talking to me at that time. I have a friend that works out with me, and she'll come to my house, or we'll go running in the morning. So shout out to Jody. She's the only other psycho in my life that is like, yeah, sure, I'll meet at 4:45. I work out, so that hour between 5 and 6 is either doing something at my house. Now, 6 o'clock, my day is running. So get my kids up. 2 of them go to school at one school, and one of them goes to school somewhere else. So my daughter's got to be at the bus stop at 6:07. So I got to get her up, assuming she didn't get up or slept through her alarm. So get her down to the bus stop, come back, got 2 dogs, let them out, feed them, get the other kids up, shower, food prep, do the first carpool drop off, non-OR days, because I can't OR days. Then I come in, and then my work day starts.
Yeah.
And then I'll do my work day. And then generally I've got pick someone up by 5, which I'm always late for, 100% of the time. I'm like a 5:15 kind of girl. When I say I left, I didn't leave yet. I didn't.
Yeah.
So pick them up 5:30. They all have nighttime sports that run from 6:30 to 8. I play adult soccer. That happens one night a week.
Congrats, you won your game this week.
Yes. And my calves are still sore. But I digress. So we do that. And then, the stuff I will dictate in the car, my notes from the day. I will dictate when I'm sitting at practice. I will answer phone calls from the urgent care. I will email, new candidates that I'm hoping to interview. I will talk with some of the surgeons about stuff for the week, because I do have the whole other admin piece of the urgent care and the PAs. I will do PA reviews sometimes as I'm sitting in the car. But when I get home, I try to be present and be home. So, it's hard. There's my phone is on all the time, even in the middle of the night. So, I think it's important just to make time for the things that effectively help you, and then just be all in when you're in, and then when you're out, you're out.
Yeah.
So have I brought my kids to work because I need them to sit somewhere so I don't have to go get them home? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I have. Have I left them somewhere and got them 20 or 30 minutes late? Yes. Unfortunately. But it's utilizing my husband. He's been super supportive, and we do have someone that helps us with transportation needs. But I hope that doing all these things can show my kids that it's a good thing. Like, it's okay to have a life and work, and I let them be involved with as much of it as they want. Like, they'll ask me, hey, what happened? Why were you late today? And I'll tell them.
Yeah.
Why were you pissed at your surgeon today? And I will tell them.
Yeah. We'll have that. No, I mean, huge shout out to all the people who are doing this and balancing family life
So,
because that is
so I get,
big.
yeah. So I guess that's a question. Is that possible? Yes. Does it require a lot of stuff in place? Yeah.
Yeah.
And we don't have like, I never at any point had a live-in nanny and someone to do the things because I very much want to be able to do the things. But I drive fast, right?
You
I
have to.
I drink an open coffee cup in my car. It's
I do
savage.
that
Like
too.
it's so
Yeah.
risky, but I love it. I
Yeah.
legit sit there with my right hand and it is an open
It's
coffee
sloshing
mug.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's no cup holder that fits the mug handle. At least I don't have
No.
one. But
Well, so they do exist.
oh,
And it fits into the little cup holder thing, and then it comes out and it's like bigger, and you
oh
can
yeah.
put the thing in. And I bought one, right? But I'm like, this isn't what I wanted though. I want the chaos.
But I want the ability to put it and teeter it. Like I want
Hmm.
that
I
ability because
want
then
it
it
to,
challenges me. Like finish the cup of coffee.
right.
Finish the cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like chaotic that I'm just leaving with a ceramic mug in my
Yes.
car and making turns driving with my left hand. Like the mug
Yes.
is,
Yes.
yeah, stuff's going everywhere. The passenger seat in my car is so stained.
Yeah.
And I don't ever have anybody that sits in that seat. So it's not because somebody's sitting there and spilling stuff. It's because my right hand coffee mug is spilling into the passenger seat.
Yeah. But will you get a mug with a top?
No, because
No.
I don't
Yeah.
like them.
Yeah.
I mean, unless I do get a lot of takeout coffee. It's sitting right here right now. So I can't say that I don't ever drink coffee with lids, but if I'm making coffee at home, it's going in a regular mug.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, I mean that's our that's what we do. That's what we do weekly. And there's highs, there's lows, there's chaos, there's a little bit of boredom, but then it's always replaced by chaos.
Yeah, I love the chaos.
I love the
It's
chaos. I love
amazing.
it.
My
Yeah.
badge reel says "Embrace Chaos,"
Yeah.
and it's got a possum on it. But yeah, I mean, I personally love my job. I wouldn't change any single thing about it. I work with a fantastic team. Like we talked about last week, have a great relationship with my supervising physician and my medical assistant team, and it's fun. Like that's the biggest thing for me is I have fun every single day
Yeah.
for the most part.
Absolutely.
When I look forward to it.
Yeah.
And so that's important to me is I don't want to dread going to work and be there the entire time, just can't wait to get home kind of thing.
Yeah.
I enjoy being there.
So, what advice can you give to PAs, let's say going on interviews or kind of wanting to get into this life? So, I've mentioned it previously, but there's the thought of what this is versus the reality. And again, I conduct interviews for urgent care for our clinic teams, and I try to convey what it is, but I feel like you don't know it until you're in it.
Mm-hmm.
And to be successful doing it, you have to be in it. Like you can't say, okay, I'm good with about 80% of what you're describing, but I'm going to create healthy boundaries and forget the 20% of it. So, can you create boundaries? Absolutely. But you've got to kind of submerge yourself in it in order to understand all the things that you need to cover. So, what would your advice be to a PA saying, like, Hannah, I want to work on your team?
Yes, you can have boundaries, but be okay blurring those a little bit because it is going to bleed into your regular life. Like I keep my phone on me, like you said, 24/7 because I want to be available to reach out to urgent care questions and, help them. And that for us is a referral source for patients that we're going to be seeing. I think my best advice is your focus needs to be number one. You want to do a good job, be a good PA, learn as much as you can so that you know what you're doing with your patients and you know how to manage things effectively. So read even when somebody's not asking you to. Like I went and bought a bunch of hand surgery textbooks on Amazon before I even had this set job. Like read, go to conferences on your own time. Don't do things with the expectation that like, oh, if they want me to continue my education, they're going to push me to do this or offer this or ask for it. No, just do it on your own. Push yourself to do those things because you're going to be more comfortable in clinic and in the OR and with everything if you're advancing your knowledge. But the second biggest part of your job is you have to go into your day thinking, my other role besides supporting my patients and knowing all of the things to do with that is to make my surgeon effective, make them have a good day, right?
Yeah.
Whatever you need to do to make that happen.
Yeah.
Whether that be just making sure the day runs smoothly, when my surgeon has to leave early, offering to see their patients or help if they're behind, see some of their patients for them, helping coordinate things that maybe they don't have the time to, or just whatever you need to do to make their job more effective.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, physician assistant, like that is your, like, you are assisting them. But I hesitate to say that because going back,
don't get me started.
Yeah. But by helping them be more efficient, you are helping your entire team. You're helping your patients. Like that is the goal.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I 100% agree. I think to-do lists, setting reminders in like a Google Calendar, I think that's huge. So I will start the day with a little note on my laptop that will say, and they're just random thoughts, but it'll be all things that I'm thinking about that I need to address throughout the day. And checking off, deleting them, whatever the case may be, I think it's really important to just have that all written down, because if it's not, and you don't have a place for everything or a time for everything, then it becomes really overwhelming. And then the next day starts with an unimaginable list. So I think, setting out tasks for the day and trying to chip away at them for new providers, those, and again, speaking specifically to orthopedic surgery, those providers, there's a knowledge base gap. So you'll come into the field with 10, maybe 25% knowledge. And every day you need something. Every day, like today, I'm going to master MCLs. Take something, submerge yourself, get in there, figure it out, and then move on to the next thing. Make your list smaller. I think that's a standout quality. So prepping for your week, prepping for whatever job that you have will help. I think overall you just become more successful and your days go smoother.
And definitely utilize Google Calendars.
Yes.
Because even looking at mine right now, it's literally just like a combination of, text back this rep, or, I have literally every little thought that comes to my mind.
Everything. Yeah.
Put down there as an event so that when I look at it, I retain it.
Yes.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'll forget.
Yeah.
And my team will also make fun of me greatly because I have about 40 tabs open right now.
That's fine.
And I can't close them out. I need them all there.
Yeah,
that's a security blanket.
Yeah, that's completely normal.
Yeah,
right,
I mean, well, this was lengthy. In a good way.
That was 1 week, and that was, I didn't even talk about the biggest part of my week. We had a surgery at the end of the day.
Gosh,
I know. I'm sorry.
We're
I'm sorry.
Edit this in there.
I'm
Wait,
sorry.
We have to.
So the surgeon that I work with, actually a couple years ago, we had been talking about a new product or a new implant that he was interested in, and we've kind of been following this, and it finally got approved, FDA approved, and it's been used on the West Coast. We started talking to the device team. We met with them in early February, and it's been a 6-month process. And we finally just did a first implant of a brand new procedure called Misha on a patient on Friday. And it was huge, and it was smooth. Like, it went smooth. So we had done the lab. We had done all the prep for it. And it was just a very, very proud moment. For myself, I was there on the other side with zero visibility. We'll talk about that another day.
Oh.
But the surgeon I work with, he did a great job. So hats off to the captain.
Nice. The captain.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah, no, it was a super exciting day. They brought little banners
it was great.
and cakes and everything. It was
so very, 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 very cool to be a part of something new and innovative. So that was awesome. So, ending on that note, it was a great week.
Amazing.
I retract my statement. It was a great week. It made me forget about last week. Thanks for tuning in to Joint Effort PAs. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a fellow PA or med-minded friend. You can also follow us on Instagram at Joint Effort PAs for updates and extra content. See you next time.